Everything is falling apart for Elon Musk. Tesla's stock price is tanking as his car sales across the world continue to stumble. And not just that, but he's getting booted out of his job and the White House slowly pushed out by the cabinet more and more every day. But for some reason, his mind is not focused on that, but instead on Kamala Harris. Yes, that was revealed that Elon is still thinking about the former vice president in an interview he did today with Larry Kudlow on Fox. Strange that our unelected co-president is sitting down for a major TV interview, but it got strange very quickly, as you would expect, and we are going to get into all of it. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now let's get into the first very bad clip of this interview.
So your review and analysis was spot on.
Yes. So I think when people criticize, say, what Doge is doing, we say, well, which part specifically? Because we put all of the actions of the Doge team on the Doge.gov website and on the Doge handle on X. So we post the receipts. So it's like this action has been taken, this action has been taken. So when we get criticism, we say, like, of what? Which line do you disagree with? Like which cost saving do you disagree with? And then people usually can't think of any.
No.
So
it's transparent line by line.
It's transparent line by line.
Which is quite.
So Elon is justifying all the terrible decisions and giant mistakes made by the Department of Government Efficiency by saying that they post receipts. So there's so much transparency, even though we don't know who's working for Doge, how much they're being paid, where they came from, who's running Doge is something the White House actually won't officially tell us, but they post the receipts. And what's funny about those receipts is they're consistently not true. I said this about a tweet that Carolyn Levitt made when she said that Donald Trump is the most transparent president in history just because he responds to questions. Well, when those responses are lies, they're still lies. When you lie about your receipts, they are still lies. And speaking of lies, we heard more of them right here.
There was a cyber attack on X today, which shut it down and may have been foreign sourced.
Yes.
It's a big story. You want to give us a moment on that?
Well, we're not sure exactly what happened, but there was a massive cyber attack to try to bring down the X system with IP addresses originating in the Ukraine area.
So Elon is trying to push the narrative that Ukraine somehow is responsible for making Twitter glitch out today. I don't know if you were on Twitter today, but it was pretty much impossible to use. So I think that we should allow the guy who bought and destroyed that platform to completely take over Social Security. Am I right? If he can break Twitter, he can break the rest of the government that we all rely on. It's just idiocracy. But clearly Elon is just trying to sow this narrative to help out his other co-president and making sure he can attack President Zelensky as much as possible. And it's not just Zelensky. Like I said, Elon Musk made it official what he's going after next.
So the waste report in entitlement spending, which is which is most of the federal spending is entitlements. So that's like the big one to eliminate, because that's the sort of $500 billion, maybe $700 billion a year. That is also a mechanism by which the Democrats attract and retain illegal immigrants by essentially paying them to come here, and then turning them into voters.
Yes.
So this is why the Democrats are so upset about the situation, because they're losing. If we turn off this gigantic money magnet for illegal immigrants, then they will leave, and they will lose voters.
Elon Musk is coming for your Social Security. This is not speculation. This is not liberals hyping up something that's never going to happen, trying to scare you. He's making it clear. And what happened to going after the waste? We're going after what's important. Entitlements in government. How about you cut down on your travel with Donald Trump on Air Force One? How about he cuts down on the golf trips? How about you look at your contracts with the DOD, Elon? Oh, no, you're not going to do that? You're only going to fire the government employees who upset you? Well, that's actually what Elon exactly said right here.
I might add, it's a permanently liberal bureaucracy.
Yes, very much so.
And it's not a bureaucracy that necessarily enforces or implements presidential policy.
They don't. In fact, they try their best to thwart presidential policy. So the president is the elected representative of the people. And if the president cannot get things implemented as a reflection of the will of the people, then what we have is not a democracy, we have a bureaucracy. We have rule of the bureau, not rule of the people. And that's what we're trying to defeat here is the bureaucracy and have rule of the people. You know, as you mentioned, the bureaucracy is overwhelmingly Democrat. So Washington, D.C. was 92.5%, I believe, voted for Kamala. So this is overwhelmingly a deep blue situation.
So we're firing federal workers because they might have voted for Kamala Harris? That is your justification? You're saying that they're too liberal, that they're Democrats, and they should be fired? That's just insane. But is the part of the increasingly obscure and weird and just incomprehensible reasons why Elon Musk is giving to justify any of the bizarre actions he's taking, which have completely broken our government. And it's not just Democrats calling it out, as we are going to get into in just a second. Republicans are as well. Because do you know who uses these entitlement programs the most? MAGA voters. The same people that we worried or warned and are now worried that they'd lose those programs. They didn't listen. It's the I told you so presidency playing out again and again and again, that this is a government by the billionaires and for the billionaires. And although we are going to get into more of Republicans slamming Elon, I want to see a Republican who's not sure about him right here.
Are you confident that Musk is doing this for the reasons that President Trump says, purely to help this country, purely to reduce the deficit, and not in any way to help his American-based companies?
Yes. And I will tell you, his work for President Trump has cost him a lot of money. I think Mr. Musk is doing it because money is important to him, but other things are more important. I think he'd like to leave something behind besides styrofoam. I think that I am a supporter. He's done more in a few weeks than I've seen anybody else do in 8 years up here.
Oh, you're starting to now think that he might possibly be in this for the money? You can't give an answer on that one? If the money might be a factor in all of this for Elon, if sending billions of dollars to his companies on contracts that not only did he not win, but he already lost, as was the case with an FAA contract. Elon doing great work at the FAA, making sure those planes crash, make sure we're cutting those air traffic controllers, but Elon wants to give another couple of hundred a bill to his Starlink company, which is losing contracts left and right, unqualified to do the job it will now be paid hundreds of millions of dollars for. Well, air travel is still not safe. Does anyone feel good about any of this besides the billionaires getting richer? But it's funny because the billionaires aren't actually getting richer right now because Donald Trump has been so disastrous that even they are losing money in his crashing market. So it looks like it's pretty bad for everyone, unless I guess you're Donald Trump and you don't care. And that's why we even see his closest advisors coming out against his co-president, like Steve Bannon right here.
Donald Trump's decision to side with Elon Musk and the new American oligarchs has created one of the biggest political fault lines in our politics right now, one that puts Donald Trump on the other side of two of the biggest and most animated grassroots political movements of the last decade. Stuff that resonates with a large swath of the American public, including Democrats. It also reveals the tensions between what Donald Trump has promised to do for the millions of people who voted for him and what he is actually doing with Elon Musk as his wingman. Elon Musk and Donald Trump's decision to slash and burn large chunks of the federal government threatens to completely wreck agencies that serve the needs, financial and otherwise, of millions of Trump's own voters, millions of Americans who depend on those agencies. Everything from the VA to Social Security. And it's all under threat. It's a political threat, though, now as well to the MAGA movement. And at least one MAGA architect is saying so, Steve Bannon. New York Times reports this, quote, "I don't want to say it's an anchor or a lodestone," Bannon said on Friday of Musk on his show War Room, which is watched closely by a number of Trump allies as well as by the president himself. Quote, "It's not that yet, but it's trending. That is starting to affect everybody." That is just weeks after Steve Bannon called Elon Musk a, quote, "truly evil person," end quote, and a, quote, "parasitic illegal immigrant," end quote. That description is based on reporting denied by Musk that he overstayed his student visa while working on his first company. Now, for his part, Elon Musk called Steve Bannon a, quote, "great talker but not a great doer," accusing him of getting nothing done. Brand new reporting from the New York Times that the war of words between these two men has not gone unnoticed by Donald Trump. From that new report, quote, "Trump has made clear he wants to keep both men and their allies within his movement." In mid-February, the president told Mr. Bannon that he wanted him to lay off the attacks on Musk and for the two men to sit down privately, according to two people. That meeting has not happened yet, and it is not clear when or if it will. Steve Bannon is not alone in fearing that Trump and Musk's pro-American oligarch agenda is alienating wide swaths of voters. New York Times reports this. The billionaire's signature slash and burn style and showy spending cuts have reverberated far beyond the Capitol, making even lawmakers from deep red states begin to sweat. That's because Elon Musk is deeply unpopular. One poll found that 34% of Americans approve of Elon Musk's role in the federal government. And there's little room for that to improve. Only 3% of Americans say they have not heard of Elon Musk. It is a golden, nearly unprecedented opportunity for the Democratic Party. They are eager to find ways to publicly oppose Donald Trump. Senator Chris Murphy telling the New York Times this, quote, "It's an easy story. Elon Musk and the billionaires have taken over the government to steal from the American people to enrich themselves."
I do not like Steve Bannon. I think that goes without saying. But I think he has a much better understanding of MAGA and the base than certainly Elon Musk does. And he knows what they will be taking away from those MAGA voters. And he knows what the reaction will be. Hell to pay for Elon. And that is something that I am looking forward to. And we have to continue to deliver that message every single day until we get to hell to pay day, the midterms, and then the next presidential election. And then let's do some elections after that. Let's keep this all fresh in people's brains for a while. That's what we're going to be doing on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.